Ladies and gentlemen, kings, queens, people of royalty, we are so back. Welcome to my after New Year break. It's an honor to have you all here. A lot of things have changed in PokeMMO. The 12 raids are out. Jirachi is the new legendary, and I've heard the raid is extremely difficult. People have spent, I've heard 8, 9, 10, 12 hours on the raid, and today I'm gonna work towards unlocking it. Maybe try to do some shiny hunting along the way. I don't know if I'll be doing Jirachi today. It might be a tomorrow task, but we're at least going to unlock the ability to do it and make sure we have the team built. Also, a big step for the channel. My HelloFresh sponsorship was an amazing success thanks to you guys, and I have been offered a Factor sponsorship, which is owned by the same company who does Factor, and I think both are amazing food products and food shipment things. They send you food. HelloFresh is better if you want to cook, if you want to learn, if you want to have the tastiest, most amazing, freshest ingredients, everything delivered straight to your door. It saves you the hassle, it saves you gas money, it saves you the stress of having to pick meals, and it's you're paying for the convenience, and I love it. I think it's some of the best meals I've ever cooked. Factor, however, I always explain it as the perfect gamer food because it is chef-made meals that are refrigerated and sent to you. They're never frozen, they're refrigerated and sent to you, and then you put them in the microwave for like 2 minutes and eat them. I always describe Factor as if you ever wanted to eat frozen dinners but have them actually taste good and then not die by the age of 30, which is my childhood dream come true. So I'm a big fan of Factor. I think both work for different lifestyles for different reasons, and here are the Factor incentives. Every single Factor sub will add 1 hour to the streamathon at the end of the month. I'm continuing that trend. Every Factor sub, I will also breed 5 alpha Pokemon for a chance at a Shalfa and open 5 mysterious balls of my choice during that streamathon. We're going to save that for one big epic juicy moment. And then every 10 subs, I will buy something special for the stream off of Amazon or eBay or whatever with a $100 limit, adding to the content, adding to the quality, fog machine, lights, pyrotechnics, a costume, I don't know, whatever you guys want. We're going to spend to $100. We're going to vote on it in Twitch chat, in stream to the best of our ability. And then at 30 subs, I once said I would bathe in beans. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but that's what we're working with. That's our current goals. If you have any suggestions on incentives for this stuff, I'm always open ears. But let's go ahead and actually get into what you guys are here for, PokeMMO content, and talk about the game. I need to go prep my team. I still have Togekiss, Gardevoir, and Salamence as raids to catch up on. Here, wait a minute, one sec. Sorry. We do it live. I still need Togekiss, Gardevoir, ignore that last part. Togekiss, Gardevoir, and Salamence are the big ones. And then we unlock the ability to do Jirachi. And I do want to do Suicune before this event ends as well as Heatran, but that'll be after the event. You don't have to do Heatran during the event. I believe Jirachi is an event exclusive. I could get confirmation from chat here in a quick sec, but I'm pretty sure Jirachi is an event exclusive mon. So a lot of people who are asking, like, you know, can you do Jirachi or should you do it now? I think you have to. It's tied to the wishing tags, which are event specific. There are certain legendary Pokemon you can only get during events. Things like Shaman, things like Darkrai, things like Jirachi, right? You can only achieve these during these events themselves. I also need to make sure I make some extra investments today. There's only about 6 days left in the event at the time of recording, even less by the time you're watching the stream recap, as well as let's check certain markets. I've heard the Entei market is going absolutely bonkers, which is pretty interesting. 980k for an Entei is super interesting. I need to go buy some extra Mysterious balls. I've already stocked up a fair amount, but I wanted to get at least 800, I believe, was my goal. Like 800 to 1,000 or so Mysterious Ball 2024s. They're currently sitting at around, let's go double check, 15k or so. I'm really excited to log these into my PokeMMO Hub. There's a website called PokeMMO Hub, which has an investments tab where you can actually log everything you bought, what you bought it for, and then see your percentages and return on investments over time. I think that if you're serious about PokeMMO investing, I can't encourage PokeMMO Hub enough. There's no sponsor there. I think there's an amazing tool and an amazing website, which is phenomenal for tracking investments. We're going to spend a ton of money there, buy all these, buy it all up, spend about 1 million Pokeyen there, head over to Great Balls, buy a bunch of these. Don't make investments based off of what I'm doing. This is just personally what I think is interesting and personally what I think is a good investment. Mysterious Ultra Balls have already kind of been going up. These were down to 60k at their lowest. What? They're already up 20k? That's insane. Ultra Balls already being up 20k is actually ridiculous. I then want to go check Mysterious Great Balls 2023s. I'm a big fan of these items, and I think people often forget about the older items during newer events. Any of these up to like 60k or so. These were at 60. Oh, this is so expensive though. I really want to drop 7 mil on that. I don't think I do right now, but it's really tempting. It's really tempting. These were at 7k prior to the event dropping, or sorry, 61k, I believe. They were at 61k specifically. And once again, that's another thing you can check. No sponsor by PokeMMO Hub, but that's another tool you can use. On PokeMMO Hub, you have GTL market data tracking, where you can see what items costed at a certain date, and you can track what things were selling for. So using that, I use that to make all my investments. Like I wasn't sure if Mysterious Great Balls were 2023s were going to be a good investment during this event, but the reason I knew they would be, in my opinion and for me personally, is because I checked on PokeMMO Hub, hey, how much would these cost before the event dropped? And they were up to, 61k, and they dropped during the event because people panic sell. So understanding, is someone panic selling this? Are they not? What's happening? Yada yada yada. PokeMMO Hub is amazing. Thank you for the linking that in, Cody. But let's go ahead. Next step of the stream. There's so much to do today, so much to catch up on. Just missing 2 days of the event to celebrate for New Year's has put me really far behind, which is crazy, right? So let's build a team and jump into our next raid. Whether that is Togekiss, Gardevoir, or Salamence, I honestly don't know quite yet, but let's just get to raiding, fellas. This is a great question. How do you think about all the PvP changes and how it's affected the market and how it's affected the PvP metagames? Bro, I just haven't had the time to really sit down and think about it. I really want to go check, how is Tangrowth doing at OU? 1% usage, so not many people have access to hidden ability Tangrowth, which makes sense. 61% win rate. That's, now, when something is that high and it's that new, it's possible people just haven't learned how to play around it yet. 61% win rate for Generator Tangrowth is ridiculous. Very small sample size. We'll have to see what happens. Let's go check some other factors. What do we have? Vaporeon. Just because of hydration. Used very, very little. Someone said Arcanine in OU. I don't know why that would be. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's some crazy stuff. There's some crazy stuff that is that's been changing in the PokeMMO PvP scene, and I'm sure even Tangrowth. Speaking of market changes, right? Hidden ability Tangrowths are insane. I think the minimum price. Ooh, are they getting cheap? Wait. Oh no, I thought I saw one for 90k, but nah. 280k is the cheapest one. 280k is the cheapest Tangrowth. Dude, that's insane. 280k being the cheapest one. You want to see a risky investment? All right, boys, let's do it. If you want to see a risky investment, here you go. 5. How much is? Should I just stop there? No. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna stop there. I think Regenerator Tangrowths could be crazy. This is like Regenerator Amoonguss style. These could get reintroduced in a different way. There could be alpha Tangrowth swarms next month in the game, and it kills my investment. Or these could go up to 800k a piece, or $1 million a piece, or be ridiculous, similar to things like alpha Excadrill. Let's go actually check. Alpha Excadrill or Drillbur, currently 800k a piece. In the past, there was Alpha Amoonguss. Now it's cheap, but it used to be 800k a piece when they were a limited thing. And if I'm seeing Tangrowth at 61% win rate, obviously a very, very small user or whatever. If I'm seeing Tangrowth at 61% win rate, that's something I feel like I want to invest into. So I'm going to pick up some, 10 Tangrowths. We're spending a lot of Pokeyen today, boys. Let's get back to, we're getting distracted again. Let's get back to raids, fellas. This is genuinely one of the most insane things I've ever seen in PokeMMO. And if this doesn't show you how insanely powerful ult accounts are, I don't know what will. This is from Danny. Danny was 6Ys. I thought that he was buying all these Jirachis as an investment. He caught all of these. These are all Jirachis from all of his alt accounts. He did all of the raids on this many alt accounts. This is ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. This is magnitudes like we've seen none other. If Jirachis are, what's the cheapest Jirachi right now in game? Let's go check. The cheapest right now, it's 3.5 mil. So if we take, how many Jirachis does he have? 40. This man has 46 Jirachis. What? Bro he has more Jirachis on his account than Jirachis on the GTL. What? Okay, what the okay, if we bring up our calculator, 46 Jirachi times right now, just at right now their current value, right? It'll change. Times 5 million a piece. He's currently sitting on 161 million Pokeyen in Jirachis alone. I don't even know what to... It makes me want to throw up. It's so insane. There are always people who take MMOs to an insane degree, and I feel like stuff like that needs to be highlighted because it is so insane. It is so extreme. But I think it's amazing. I think it's beautiful. I think it's cool to see what could be achieved. And that is insane that could be achieved. Alt account, you don't have to do 46 alts, okay, to have alt accounts be effective. You could just have 1 to 2, right? If you have one alt, if you have a main account with all storylines done and one alt with main storylines done, you're already like double ahead essentially of the average play. It's insane. Alts are so ridiculous. It's so wild. I hadn't even seen these yet, dude. New item in PokeMMO, obviously for the Jirachi IVs. Blank wishing tag can only be used on Jirachi, can raise or lower the IVs by 1. Gotcha. So that's probably it's similar to elemental orbs. It's similar to, is it Residuas that also do that, right? Like, gotcha. That's the item for Jirachi that changes the IVs. Good to know. I hadn't seen anyone talk about that yet, so good to know. Good to know. Yo, hard scale farmers are eating pretty good right now. This is another one of those items that like goes up during raids, during PVM events. Like, I just used a hard scale to switch my Scizor from U-turn over to Bug Bite because it's better in raids. So another market to keep an eye out for during raids, stuff like that. So if you want to go, hard scale farm for profit, if you're a newer player and can't really do raids, can't do some of these event activities, hard scale farming is probably solid right now. Check fossils, Pat. Have fossils gone up or down? I thought they would go down based on the certain changes. They're kind of the same-ish, maybe a little bit up. A little bit up is what I would say. Good to check though. Man, people wondered why raids were taking so long, and I feel like it shouldn't go underappreciated. The amount of unique mechanics that the PokeMMO devs had to invent out of thin air and create for these raids has been insane, right? The Gardevoir that used to switch, you have to use different typings, it would adjust. All the adaptation stuff of switching what its resistance to, all the type inversions. I'm forgetting things, but the amount of unique mechanics that people have had to, the heal block, people having to use heal block, that's like a raid staple now to prevent the wishing and stuff. The amount of unbelievably unique, unbelievably interesting mechanics that we've had to work around has been really, really cool during this event. I wouldn't call Omni Boost, that was an RNG fest, but like I think it's been really, really, really interesting. I feel like, yeah, the difference between Lunar New Year 2024 raids and Christmas event or winter raids in 2024 to 2025 is insane. Lunar New Year event raids look boring in hindsight. I super agree with that, Danny. I think it's ridiculous how good the devs have gotten at making raids and making unique, interesting PokeMMO content, PvP content, within a year's time. Imagine it 2-3 years down the line. Like, raids can only go up from here. And I'm really, really excited for them, dude. Holy shit, boys. If you don't have a shiny Heatmore, what? Now is the time to go farm for one. Holy crap. Wow, I have a video guide on this. Dude, Flame Orbs being 25k a piece is wild. Now, I don't know if it's been nerfed. It seems like with item magnet charm and stuff, you should be getting more of these per hour. When I used to do Flame Orb farming, going for shiny Heatmore, I would get about 10 an hour. That was while shiny hunting, getting like 800 encounters, 600 encounters, like 800 encounters per hour. What? You're telling me that right now you can make 250,000 Pokeyen per hour while shiny hunting for a 6 shiny? Dude, if you've ever wanted to shiny hunt Heatmore, now's the time. That's actually insane. That also might, also a free shiny, Lepus or something like that. That also might be, man, I'm not a big advocate of shiny hunting for profit, but if you ever wanted to shiny hunt for profit, this might be insane. Like every 50 hours, you get a Heatmore, so you add like 2.7 mil onto your profits, as well as making 250k per hour consistently. That's insane. I have a guide on it. Go check out like Flame Orb farming, PokeMMO on my channel or on YouTube, wherever whatever guide helps you, right? But that's insane. That's actually so nuts. This is a great and earnest, honest question from a new player. That's something this is so important to address. Someone said, "Hey Patrouski, I want to get into PokeMMO so badly, but I often find myself opening the game and then feeling overwhelmed about how behind I am from everyone else and closing it. Is that a normal thing?" I think it is. And the thing I can most encourage is that you can catch up much quicker than people realize, as well as the game has changed and will continue to change for like every single year. That like it makes it easier to catch up, if that makes sense. I always say like back in like so imagine you played Pokemon from 2012 to 2015, right? What happened in 2015 was the physical 2014 2015ish was the physical special split, so it totally invalidated every single PVM or PvP, every single competitive Pokemon that we had, right? And this is a good example of like the game changes so much every few years that almost everybody's progress is reset, aside from like Pokeyen and aside from like shinies and stuff like that. But like it's very, very often PvP mons, PVM mons are just reset every few years because of giant metagame changes. Once Gen 6, if it comes out, which I think it will eventually, but years from now, that's going to monstrously change the PvP metagame and monstrously invalidate a lot of people's competitive Pokemon, which is kind of frustrating, but also kind of beautiful because it makes things not get stagnant and stay a little fresh, right? So I think it's really important to keep that in mind, that every few years we've gone through a great reset like this, and that it's also never been easier to jump into PokeMMO because of how many we actually have guides nowadays, which we didn't have guides. We're also just getting better and better every year with actually playing the game. Like we just weren't. It's kind of like, I would say, if you watch people play classic or like actual classic vanilla World of Warcraft on launch versus watch the re-release of classic WoW, the difference was insane, right? Because people actually just learned and grew over the decade or so, decade or two, right? People just learn and grow. We just learn and grow as a society, right? But if you're having a problem with feeling overwhelmed, really boring answer, all I can say is just take it one step at a time. Set one goal every day and try to work on that. Like, okay, I'm gonna log in today. Let's say I'm working on, I need a catching Breloom, right? I'm gonna log in day one and try to start a breed. Learn how to breed, start a breed, or even just buy one, whatever, right? Start working on a catching Breloom. Day 2, I'm gonna EV train it. Day 3, I'm gonna XP train it, right? And now if you can do all of that in one day, more power to you, but just setting goals every single day and just achieving at least a little bit every day. For me right now, my goal today is to catch up on 3 raids. It's to do Gardevoir, Togekiss, and if I get around to Jirachi, cool, but I probably won't be able to. If I do the 3 raids, I'll reward myself with some shiny hunting, and then tomorrow I'll deal with Jirachi, right? You've got to just take things step by step, day by day. It's really, really common for new players to join MMOs because these are games that have been running for decades often, right? And feel behind. But I want to encourage you that you aren't as behind as it may feel, right? And to just take things step by step, and you'll be an endgame and progressed account faster than you think, faster than you realize, in my opinion. Progress really, really snowballs, right? Once you have your first 10 million getting from 10 mil to 100 mil is like 10 times easier than getting from 0 to 10 mil, if that makes sense. Your progress really will snowball the more utility mons you have, the more PVM mons, raid Pokemon, items, choice bands, scarfs. The more things you develop, the more you develop your account, the faster progress will happen. All right, so we are done with raids from this point forward. We actually did everything I wanted to do today, which was Salamence, Gardevoir, I don't even remember now. What was the other one? Togekiss, which has been really, really tough. Thank you for the 3 months. What's up? What's up, Retso? I'll properly thank you in a quick step. But we're done with raids. We have Jirachi to do, but we're going to save that for tomorrow. I feel like that'll be fun. What I want to do next is I want to test. Like, I saw how insane the Heatmore farm looked. I want to just go test it. I already have a shiny Heatmore, which is kind of funny. So, like, a second Heatmore is kind of funny, but I don't know. I think it's worth it. I also got this Heatmore on Thanksgiving, which is kind of funny. But I want to test it because it seems like such an insane money-making method, plus shiny hunt, plus I can use item magnet charm and all these things. So I'll do a dedicated video actually testing it. But let's go. Let's get set up. You just need a choice band, usually thief, a net for this kind of hunt. This is a great question. Why are there 0 shiny Unown on the GTL? With stuff like that, it's usually because Unown is a Pokemon you really have to seek out to shiny hunt, right? There's not really any way to accidentally encounter Unowns during the PokeMMO storylines, right? So what happens is, you only end up seeing shiny unknowns if you specifically go try to shiny hunt for unknown. So people who are specifically shiny hunting for it usually want to actually own it and keep it, if that makes sense. It's a great question. Okay, this is a great question. I feel like I haven't heard that many people talk about it recently. Someone asked if I don't use strings anymore, and correct. I've actually stopped using custom strings. Not that you don't have to, and not that anybody needs to. I'm a crazy lag spike in game. They're weird. I have personally stopped using custom strings because the devs clearly want to get rid of them. So I am kind of just out of the goodness of my heart. It sounds not like that, but like to show respect to the devs, I'm purposely not using strings because they're trying to remove them. They're trying to get rid of them. They're trying to rebalance the game around strings. They're trying to standardize strings, which is something I've talked about for an extremely long time. It's very weird that we have to go search for some third-party program to play the game at a faster pace or to keep up with other players. I think it's very, very, very weird. And it'd be better and just happier and healthier for everybody if we could just play the game at said rate or at that close to that rate while not having to install some third-party program, right? Which they've seemed to successfully do. Most things are almost exactly the same pace post strings as they are doing pre-strings versus post strings. Some things are slightly off, and I think they're trying to fix that. They're trying to work out those quirks, but I'm not gonna try to make any more strings. I'm not trying to find the new strings. I'm not trying to constantly because they're trying to stop this. They think it's a problem. Now it's currently not bannable and currently not against the rules, but this is a guesstimation. They haven't said anything like this, but I believe it wouldn't surprise me is what I'm saying, that one day they do make strings against the rules or bannable, right? They're trying to get rid of them. They're trying to make them not part of the game, which I think makes a lot of sense. I predicted this like a year ago. If you go watch my old videos, I talked about the standardization of strings and how it's something they probably need to do eventually. It's just not good for balancing to have to seek out a third-party thing. I actually feel like go download some program to like put your game on 2x speed. That's not good, right? It's weird, it's clunky, it's awkward, right? So I'm not using strings because the devs seem to want to get rid of them, which I think is super fair. Most things in game right now are almost up to that speed. Certain things you could get a benefit from strings, but I'd rather not have the small benefit and just I'm trying to like future-proof myself, honestly, is the real, I guess, the real answer. So personally, I'm choosing not to use strings anymore. Hey Pat, have you ever had a PokeMMO nightmare? I think anyone who's shiny hunted long enough, you've probably had shiny hunting nightmares and dreams, I guess. I have had, especially during Safari Week, I mean, if you spend enough time doing anything, you'll dream about it, right? So during Safari Week, when I'm shiny hunting in the Safari Zone 10 hours a day, I absolutely have had nightmares of shiny Pokemon running away from me in the Safari Zone. Absolutely. It's never happened yet, and it sounds hilarious, but yes, I have had PokeMMO nightmares. The worst nightmares I've ever had, you could actually ask, this is like a known thing in the RuneScape community. Ultimate Iron Man have the worst nightmares. It is such a stressful way to play the game. I feel like I should like do like a documentary style, or someone should do a documentary style video on this, because it is like a well agreed upon thing in the Ultimate Iron Man scene. Ultimate Iron Man's, if you don't know, is an account type in old school RuneScape where you don't have access to a bank and you can't trade other players and stuff like that or whatever, right? So it's Iron Man plus you can't access a bank. So you keep everything that you own on you at all times. Your cash stack, all your important gear, everything. And there is something called wiping, which means if you like die twice in a row, or die to a certain boss, or die in a certain way, or if you ever died in the wildy, of course, you would lose every single thing that you own on your account. Not just everything on you at that time, you lose everything. It's called a wipe. You reset your account, except for like stats and like skills, right? So imagine playing an Ultimate Iron Man account for like 2 years, and then even if you don't wipe, the fear of wiping is so insane. It's kind of like, the way I explained it was like, imagine if you worked a job and instead of getting paid every 2 weeks, you got paid, like your paycheck was constantly building, but then if you like got sick and missed a day at work, you lost all of your paycheck up until that point. That's kind of what it's like. It's really, really, like, so almost every single, like I'm talking literally almost every single Ultimate Iron Man that I ever talked to knew about wipe dreams. That was a thing. Like Ultimate Iron Man wiping dreams, or nightmares, wiping nightmares, is like a well, I don't want to say documented, but a well agreed upon thing in that community. It's very, 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 very interesting. All right, unfortunately, in typical Patrouski fashion, my stream did crash. This time due to a weird thing, my whole router reset, but what are you gonna do? I still had a fun time, had a blast, had a 4-hour stream, got a lot done, got a lot of raids done, tested Heatmore farming, turned out to be way more insane than I expected it to be, and just had a fun time. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Jirachi raid, as well as a lot more shiny hunting on the holiday boost. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream recap. If you did, as always, like the video, dislike, subscribe. You guys just know the drill. I don't want to spam you with that too much, but also factor sub. The big thing this month is to factor sub if you want to. If you want the food and want to support the channel, it's super generous to me. But most importantly, have a good new year, have a good 2025. I will see you guys very soon, and good luck on your Pokemon raids, your shiny hunts, and just enjoy the game. Peace and Reno, fellas. Hey, thank you so very much for watching until the very end of the video. That means the world to me. And if your name is listed here, you're the reason I'm able to do this in the first place by going above and beyond and supporting the channel via YouTube memberships and Twitch Primes. Thank you so much. Have a great day.